Hi, I'm Jerry Hornoff. I created the Literaloo, and I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the technical features that are planned to be put into it, including a Wi-Fi module, and there's a little serial port underneath here. I just kind of hacked this into an existing prototype, so it's sitting a little low, which is why I have it on top of these feet. But there's a USB cable right here that hooks into it. This is actually just for programming it, which I can disconnect. And it detected a little weight there, so it set off the timer. So let me just cancel that. So there's a cycle cancel button. This will cancel the timer right there. But I did want to talk about the Wi-Fi module and how I expect the buttons to work on this thing. So auto manual, very simple button. Turn it on, turn it off. We have a cycle cancel button, so I can hit that and it'll start cycling, as you can see. But I can also hit cancel, and what that'll do is it'll cancel the current phase. This is very noisy because it's a prototype. There's no bearings or anything, so it squeaks a little bit. And then I can hit cancel again, and it'll go back to home here. So the other thing I can do is, if it's cycling, you can just press and hold the cancel button, and it'll cancel it no matter where it's at. But that, again, is a very simple button. It's probably the only button you'll use once you turn it in automatic mode or keep it in manual mode. You might want to cycle if you put new litter in there and you don't want to wait for the timer. So you could cycle it manually. There's also a program button, which is kind of neat. So you can program a couple of different options here. So it'll flash 3 times to let you know you're in program mode. And then you can pick what you want to program. So there's 4 different things down here. You can change the timer. You can change it to 3, 5, 7, 10, or 15 minutes. It defaults at 7. So, well, let me talk about all the features first. You can change the level of the litter, because different litter has different frictional properties. So if you're using a lighter litter, you might want to level at a different position than a heavier litter, like a heavy clumping litter. You could also use crystals with this thing, feline pine or what have you, with a proper sifting screen. So you just keep hitting the program button until you hit the feature you want. These last 2 are trigger sensitivity while sitting still and while cycling. So let's change the timer. I can go to the timer. I can press and hold, and it'll flash 2 times, and it'll tell you what the current level is set to. So the timer's set to level 2, which I can tell you is 7 minutes. So that would be 7, that would be 10, that would be 15, that would be 3, that would be 5, and then we'd be back to 7 again. So you can press and hold that. Let me get to something different. We'll go to 15 minutes. Let me press and hold that and lock that in. It'll flash once and then go out. If you were in programming mode and you let it timed out, or you hit one of these other buttons, then you get out of programming mode. But if I go back in, you'll see that that level has changed. So I'll go to that, and you should see it set to 4 now, which it is. I'll press another button and get out of there. So it'll be set to 4. It's got memory. The thing also remembers, if you're in automatic mode and the power goes out and the power comes back on, it'll go back into automatic mode. It'll remember that. So you don't have to worry about a power outage while you're away. There is also tray full indicators. So I've got the back of this unit off. So if I slip my hand behind here, I can probably cover up one of the sensors, and you can see that light flashing. I won't be able to get my hand to cover up multiple sensors in there, but if I did, you'd see the light flashing even faster to tell you that the tray is very, very full. Cancel out of here. So let me talk about the Wi-Fi module. This is just a testing board that I've created to make sure that the serial port works. Haven't created the Wi-Fi module yet, but you could hook a Raspberry Pi up to this thing. It's a USB connector that's not talking USB. It's talking a proprietary protocol. But I plan to publish that protocol. But if you have the Wi-Fi module, this will hook up to the internet, and you can get all this information through the internet. And there'll probably be a application programming interface that will also be published, and you could get to that if you wanted to customize things and you didn't like what the website or your smartphone or tablet, you didn't like the software and you wanted to, I don't know, hook it up to multiple devices and integrate them. You could certainly write software to do that. So you can do a couple of things. Got a bunch of dip switches down here, and I programmed this chip to talk over the serial port and get some information out. So I can get a couple of different things. I can monitor all the sensors. So for example, I could monitor what here? Like the position sensor. So the position sensor is, put these all back to 0. I think it's 1000. Is that right? No, it is not right. It is 1100. So that's the current state of the position sensor. So it's detecting a magnet. It knows it's in the home position right now. There's a couple of Hall effect sensors in here to detect what position it's in. So you can get that information. You can find out what the version number is. You can look at one of the weight sensor and get samples from that. What else? Locking, for example. You can lock, because these buttons are facing up now, you can lock the buttons by pressing these two simultaneously. So if I were to look at the locking value, that's 7. So it's saying it's locked right now. And I could unlock it. You can, let me do this. You'll see both lights go out pretty much at the same time. Okay, so now it's not locked. I can also send commands to it, so I can put the right bit on, and I could do a factory reset, which would be, these are the set functions over here. Let's do a factory reset. Oh, that's the other thing you can do here is a factory reset by holding down all 3 buttons simultaneously for 5 seconds. So I'll show you what that looks like first. And that's what it did. Just did a factory reset. So if I look at my chart over here, I'm going to do a 1100. No, 110 is a reset, and a 0 would be a normal reset. I've got a little button here that'll send the command. So I'll send that. Did I not get it right? Nope, I didn't get it right. It's 111. So that should send a normal reset, which it just did. If I do a factory reset, I can set that bit to 1 and send it, and you'll see it'll do the factory reset. I can make the unit cycle. That would be a 100. 1000001, and a 0 would be cycle. So if I send that, it's cycle. And if I want to cancel it, stop would be a 10. And oh, you know what? My chart's outdated. I think it's a 11. Yeah, that stops it. I forgot to print out a new piece of paper. I could lock the thing remotely. That would be 1000010, and then a 1, I think. That should turn on the lock light, which it does. And I can keep hitting it because it's literally turning on the lock. It's not like hitting a button. If I wanted to unlock it, I turn that to 0 and then hit the button until it's unlock it. So I haven't explained everything. You can monitor the tray full sensors and everything. So it's pretty complete. I think that's about it. There are definitely, like I said, a couple of other functions that I can't talk about. But I think it'll be very interesting to be able to monitor your Literaloo remotely and intercede if you need to. And that's about it. Thanks so much.